Into the world of Harrison Love. His bio reads like a travel journal. Born in New York, raised in Brussels, then RISD, off to Tokyo, Shanghai, Singapore, then Peru, Colombia. And that's not even the whole list.
A true global citizen. That
Yeah.
kind of exposure, it's bound to seep into the art. It becomes part of the fabric, not just a backdrop.
And he blends these influences in such a fascinating way. I mean, traditional Japanese calligraphy with modern American graffiti. Those feel like worlds apart.
Think about it, though, the precision, the history of calligraphy. Then you have the raw energy, the urban edge of graffiti. What Love captures is that common thread, that primal need to communicate, to leave a mark.
It makes you wonder, growing up navigating all those cultures, languages, maybe that's how he sees those connections where others might not.
He's not just blending styles, he's blending worlds. And those experiences, they become the lens through which he sees everything.
You see it in his range, too. You have these high-profile murals, Google, Scholastic. Those speak to his talent, his reputation. Then you have The Hidden Way, his illustrated novel, that feels so personal, inspired by Amazonian myths.
The Hidden Way was a huge undertaking. He didn't just study those myths from afar. He lived with indigenous tribes, immersed himself in their culture, their traditions, their worldview. It was a personal journey for him.
In the press release, he even says he learned more in the Amazon than any book could teach.
He was tapping into something ancient, a different way of experiencing the world. Years he spent there, absorbing their stories.
Which leads us to shamanism. It plays a central role in The Hidden Way. For those unfamiliar, could you explain?
Simply put, shamanism is a practice where a practitioner enters an altered state of consciousness to connect with the spirit world.
So Love's work, it's not just about aesthetics. He's trying to access a different level of experience.
These ancient stories, they ground us. They remind us we're part of something bigger.
And he didn't just dabble. He spent years living with those tribes, really absorbing their traditions.
It's that depth of experience that resonates. He's committed to understanding those ancient practices.
And you see those themes emerge: environmentalism, cultural preservation, the power of storytelling, all incredibly relevant today.
He's not just making art, he's prompting us to think differently, to connect with those ancient stories, that wisdom that's often lost in our fast-paced world.
It's like a call to action. These traditions, these stories, they're at risk of fading away. He's trying to preserve them.
He's bringing those stories into the modern world through his art, bridging that gap between past and present, making them feel urgent, relevant. So it's not just about the mystical experience itself. It's about connection, gaining wisdom to help the community.
And that emphasis on community, on interconnectedness, is really at the heart of shamanism.
Absolutely.
And these themes, interconnectedness, the search for deeper meaning, the
Mhm.
power of ritual, all of those are reflected in Love's work, aren't they?
Precisely. And it's not just a superficial resemblance. He's grappling with the core principles of this ancient practice and how they can inform our understanding of the world and our place in it.
It's like he's found a way to translate these ancient practices into a modern language, one that speaks to our anxieties, yet also connects us to something timeless.
Right. Think about the chaotic, almost psychedelic bursts of color and energy in his visual art, or the way his writing blends dreamlike imagery with stark realities. Those reflect the disorientation and the heightened awareness that can come with altered states.
It's interesting, too, how he plays with perspective in his work, often presenting multiple viewpoints at once. It's almost like he's inviting the viewer to step outside their own limited perspective and see the world through a more shamanic lens.
Yes. Great observation. It speaks to the importance of empathy in his work, the ability to understand and share feelings, even if they seem foreign or strange.
And that ties back to what we were talking about earlier, art as evidence or anti-evidence. Shamanism challenges us to question our assumptions about truth and reality. It suggests that maybe there are multiple ways of seeing and experiencing the world, and that sometimes the most profound truths lie beyond the realm of what's easily quantifiable or explainable.
Exactly. And Love's art embraces that ambiguity, that sense of mystery. It doesn't offer easy answers. Instead, it invites us to ask deeper questions, to sit with uncertainty, to be open to the possibility that our understanding of the world might be incomplete.
And those encounters, those experiences, continue to reverberate throughout his work, don't they? It's like he brought a piece of the Amazon back with him, not in a tangible sense, but in the way he sees the world and expresses those visions through his art.
And it's not just the Amazon, is it? It's all the places he's lived, all the cultures he's immersed himself in. You can see those influences woven throughout his work, creating this incredibly rich and complex tapestry of ideas and aesthetic.
He's like a cultural alchemist, taking these disparate elements and fusing them together to create something entirely new, something that transcends its individual components.
And that, I think, is the key to understanding the impact of his work. It's not just about the visual appeal, though his art is undeniably beautiful. It's about the way he makes you think, feel, and question your own assumptions about the world. He invites you to go on a journey with him, to explore the hidden pathways of consciousness, and to emerge from that journey transformed.
And it's a journey that extends beyond the canvas or the page. His work, in all its various forms, is a call to action, an invitation to engage with the world in a more mindful, more compassionate way.
Exactly. He's challenging us to be more aware of our interconnectedness, our responsibility to each other and to the planet. And he's doing it in a way that's both intellectually stimulating and deeply moving.
It makes me think of that mural he did in San Francisco, the mural of possible futures. You mentioned this incredible mix of utopian and dystopian elements. What's striking is how he brings those contrasting visions together in one piece.
It's such a powerful image because it reflects the moment we're in, right? That crossroads. On one hand, the potential for a just and sustainable world, true interconnectedness. On the other, these threats we're facing to the planet, to humanity itself.
And he doesn't give any easy answers. Putting those visions side by side like that, it forces you to confront the uncomfortable stuff, the realities we might want to ignore.
It's like he's holding up a mirror to society and asking, which path are we going to choose? And it's a choice we make not just as a collective, but individually, every single day.
Recognizing our own power in that to influence things, but also recognizing how interconnected it all is. Our choices have ripple effects.
And that brings us back to the power of art, doesn't it? Art has this amazing ability to go beyond our individual perspectives and create a shared experience, a collective understanding.
Like a bridge. It connects hearts and minds that might otherwise never meet.
Love understands that. He's not content to just create something that hangs on a wall. He wants his art to engage, to spark conversation, to make people think and challenge what they think they know, to inspire action.
It's about more than just aesthetics. It's art as a tool for social change, for raising awareness, for promoting empathy. And he lives that too. Murals in public spaces, collaborating with communities, using his platform to give a voice to those who aren't heard enough.
Building those bridges, creating those connections, reminding people of our shared humanity, especially important in a world that often feels so divided. It's that recognition that even in the middle of chaos, uncertainty, there's always hope. But it's not a passive hope. It requires action. It requires engagement, stepping outside those comfort zones.
This deep dive into Harrison Love's world, it leaves me feeling incredibly hopeful. He's shown us that art can be so much more than just entertainment or self-expression. It can be a force for change, a bridge between cultures, a light in the darkness.
He's reminded us that we all have a part to play in shaping the future. It doesn't matter how small we think our contributions are. Every act of creation, every act of kindness, every attempt to make the world a better, more just place, it all matters. It all contributes to that brighter future he believes in.
So much to unpack there, and yet it feels like we've only scratched the surface of Harrison Love and his work. If you could ask him one question, what would it be? What hidden pathway would you want him to shine a light on next? Let us know.